Did our favorite menu get an upgrade?
Prince of the Bay here today. We're hanging out in the Loews Sapphire Falls Resort because it's time to return to
Amatista Cookhouse.
Yes, the Cookhouse is cooking up new things with some new additions to its menu that we're here to investigate. So remember, she's vegan. I'm not. There's a spiral staircase calling our name, but I don't want to walk down it.
It's time for Foodie and Chill.
Here you have the fabulous bread service at Amatista. The Princess is usually the bread maven, but this is the one place in all of Universal and Disney where like I have to stop myself from eating the bread because I have an actual meal coming. You have Brazilian cheese bread, and you have this beautiful like walnut bread, both extremely tasty. This, literally, Brazilian, cheesy, hot, fluffy. Look at that. Burn in the hands. Look, there's a little burnt, but it's not gonna stop me. Like stopping the fog at Hollywood Horror Nights, it's just not possible. Or stopping Earl the Squirrel from returning. We made a summoning circle, and he'll be back soon. And of course, because we are who we are, we will be there when Earl the Squirrel returns. Look for it. Never in all my days as a foodie has a gluten-free bread tasted so tasty. The cheese, the crust, it did look a little burnt. Luckily, it doesn't taste burnt. It's just hot and delicious. Nice little cheese pull. Not like a nice pizza cheese pull, but a satisfying bread cheese pull. That is still top tier bread. It's 4.75 out of 5 balls. And no, I'm not gonna pass on walnut bread. Haven't forgotten about you either. Some of you don't like cheese, some of you can have dairy. And a little bit of this butter, nice and whipped. Tiny bear amount. Tiniest of the tiny. I go and ruin the walnut bread because it's dairy-free by putting dairy on it. For those of you who happen to be dairy-free, you do have an option bread-wise. I love that it's like the best parts of walnut and none of the bad parts of walnut. Walnuts taste amazing, but they're dry, they make your mouth dry. There's not an enjoyable mouthfeel from the walnuts. This tastes like a walnut, but it's hot and moist bread in the best way. Give that 4.5 out of 5 claws. This is one place I could literally pull a princess, come here and eat only bread, and be just fine.
The arepa of my dreams. I haven't been able to have a lot of arepa around Orlando, but this one is like literally my favorite. I dream about this, and I'm always excited when I can come and have it. I swear I can get it all. Alright. I commit to my mistake. It has a nice light kick to it. I don't remember it having it before, so I would say it's like a 3.5, 4 out of 10 on the heat scale. I love the arepa. I love the pickled onions. The arugula is nice. The crema is amazing. This is literally the stuff of dreams. It is a 5 out of 5. It is a princessities item. If you come to Amatista and you don't try their arepas, what are you doing with your life? Really?
It's nice. Pork, in huge quotes, pork arepas. Universal has been one of the only places that we've consistently found vegan arepas for the princess. Disney has tried once or twice, but consistently, it has always been Universal. What we always recommend, if you're gonna come to any restaurant, table service, on Universal property, it's almost 9 times out of 10 gonna be Amatista. The number of options for both vegans and non-vegans, the atmosphere, the drinks, the staff, it's hard to beat Universal property. It's definitely given that sweet and savory pork deal. You get the herby crema on the side. It's got a nice crunch, the arepa on the outside. It's a tasty dish. And honestly, it's so easy to fill up on things here that you get before you even got your meal. This is really no exception. If you ever wanted to try an arepa as a vegetarian or a vegan, this is the place to try it. This is a 4.75 out of 5 claws. It can be a little bit meatier, and when I say meatier, more the jackfruit, the pork flavor jackfruit. Other than that, no notes. Now, if you've been with us sometime, you know that obviously, as much as we stole, we love this place. My favorite thing on this menu is their chicken empanada. Like I dream of that thing. It's like a chicken-filled cornflake chip. I love that. But I do like new things. So I got the Coconut-aji Amarillo shrimp. It's jumbo shrimp with peppers, herbs, and this nice sauce with some grilled point toast on it. A little sauce on top. Unfortunately, it's served tail on. But it appears, as a foodie, I'm just going to lose the tail on shrimp battle. No matter what I do, no matter where I go, somebody is always feeding me shrimp with the tails on. It is unnecessary and almost foodie level torture. I don't want to stick my fingers in my food unless I have to. This isn't chicken wings, okay? It's shrimp with bread. I digress. Yes, I did dig my chubby bear fingers in my own chubby bear mouth and fish the tail out. That shrimp, however, oh my god. The sauce is soaked through in the little skillet. So when you bite into it, you not only get the juice of the shrimp, you get a nice, herby, creamy sauce on top of the toast. It's tasty. Honestly, I wish they gave you more than one piece of toast because you just get this one piece of toast for, 5 shrimp, but then you have the sauce here, and I want to mop it up with the remaining bread. My recommendation would be, if you haven't eaten your way through the table bread like I already did, or ask for more and use that bread to mop up this delicious sauce. This is some good shrimp, and it does whet my appetite. There's only like a little bit of civility left in me to storm the kitchen and eat everything in the kitchen. But for now, I'm just eating shrimp. 4.25 out of 5 plus.
The Sapphire Margarita all of the time, but this time when we came, we noticed that Amatista has expanded their mocktail menu. So they actually have a virgin version of the Sapphire Margarita with some like mocktail spirits in there, and I'm really into it. And it's very similar to the taste of the regular margarita. It's not bad. It is sweet. It's like a 6 or 7 out of 10 on the sweetness scale. If you don't like sweet drinks, you probably will not like this. But if you're looking for like something that's giving you margarita vibes, this is totally the thing. I would give it 4 out of 5 margaritas.
If it's one thing that we stand in this community, it's definitely going to be a pretty mocktail. And this is worthy mini golf water if I've ever seen one. You got that nice, deep, ocean blue color. I mean, oceans if you grew up on proper islands. A little cherry, a little lime. Look at that. This is like a cocktail of any sort. You get a little salt on the side. Sir. So, this tastes like a margarita. And what's better about it just tastes like a margarita? You know those, for those of us that used to be children, I know some of you probably came out grown. Make your own decisions, whatever. Had those blue fruit roll-ups as a child. It tastes like they made that blue fruit roll-up into a margarita. And honestly, I do not want to give this back to the princess. This is like everything I want out of a mocktail. No alcohol, and the flavor is amazing. I could put away a picture of this. No problem. I'd give this 5 out of 5 claws. This may be my new favorite mocktail in the Norris property. Just that easily.
Bear got a tequila guava drink, which is interesting combo. Wow. Ooh. Very tart. Sweet tart, like lemonade tart, but a little smoother because it's guava. I would say it's about a 7 or 8 out of 10 on the sweetness scale. It's a nice drink, but you gotta want the sweet. I would give it 3.75 out of 5 tequilas. I don't think we're calling this a margarita.
The menu told me I guava have it, so I can't really say no. One of the few things I believe in life is fortune cookie, and a menu is close enough to my fortune as I'm ever going to get it in the restaurant anyway. So if it's telling me I guava have it, then Guava had it. Yeah, that's what we're going with. Ooh, that's interesting. Guava has been gaining popularity in a lot of beverages over the last like year and a half, 2 years. I feel like guava's never really been hard to find, but like I feel like they've been putting guava in a lot lately, especially in the theme parks, both Disney and Universal. And it can be a strong flavor. This is a guava where I can still taste the tequila and the sweet and sour. It's a nice mix. It's not necessarily like Margarita per se, which is what the contents would sort of make you believe that it is, but it's still a really good cocktail. I would give it 4 out of 5 stars.
I'm so excited that Chunk has finally made its way to Amatista. Thank you, Shelby at Universal Orlando Vegans, for doing all the due diligence, knowing when it's going to be on the menu, and checking it twice. Love you for that. This steak reminds me of the steak that I had in August during Magical Dining at Fiorenzo. That steak is also available year-round, so if you want to try that off-property, you can. This one is actually cheaper than the one over there, and it's basically the same accompaniments: chimichurri, potatoes, and asparagus. You could also do some other sides. Amatista has great sides, but I just want to see how it is on its own. And I have my own little steak knife. Just grab a piece here. Oof, so chunky. I think I'm gonna try it by itself. Cheers. That is cooked to perfection. It's still juicy in the middle. I was worried by the way that it looked that maybe it was a little overcooked on one side. And it's a little charred on one side, but not too terrible. The chimichurri is incredible. I love it. I would give this a 4.5 out of 5 chunks. I'm excited to see if Chunk makes the rounds in more locations because it is so freaking good. Now let me try the veggies. These are the potatoes. And then there's some asparagus too. A little bit of this chunk action also, why not? Cheers. I think the veggies are more for aesthetics so that you have something else on the plate and you're not just serving the chunk. But I think it would be better if it was served like the Mojo chicken offering here where you can pick different sides, because they don't really do much for the chunk and they're not really like wow veggies. They're perfectly cooked now, so I can't fault them for that. They just don't really add much to the dish. I would give the veggies a 3 out of 5 veggies. Overall, I do recommend trying this specific steak only because you can't get it a lot of places. And if you haven't had it before, it is a really nice, unique flavoring. It reminds me a lot of Juicy Marbles.
Vegans rejoice. You too can now be steak and potato people. It's been a long time coming. You've done your work, you've done your due diligence, you've put in your dues. You deserve to have a nice, juicy, made from plants steak. Chunk Foods is a commercial-only brand, but I'm excited to see what they do here. It's very much got these threads, like the Juicy Marble we've also reviewed on this channel, and it just smells amazing. A little bite here. The char on that chunk steak really sells it. It gives it like hot on the grill sort of like char flavor to it, while still letting the steak be a steak. Very juicy, well seasoned. I was worried because we like Frenzo's. It's definitely like a steakhouse sort of thing, but my main concern is how Chunk will evolve to accept and absorb certain flavors. Because cooking it is one thing, but cooking it themed to other dishes is what I want to see happen in this steak next. The flavor of the steak on its own is good. It's definitely one of the better plant-based steaks we've had. I mean, not that we've had a ton. Currently, we're sitting at, 3 steaks? We have Chunk Foods, we have the Beyond Steak, and then you have Juicy Marble, right? We're the only 3 people making steak right now that we've had anyway. It's good. I would give it a 4 out of 5 claws. Let's try it with the fixins. Try a couple of these fingerling potatoes. The tiniest bit of asparagus. Or the tiniest bit of chunk. At least it has a fun name. Name means a lot. The potatoes are the potatoes. The asparagus is asparagus. They're cooked perfectly fine. Nothing really to write home about. I think the biggest thing is, again, this is a Caribbean-based restaurant. The asparagus and potatoes do not feel Caribbean. If you were to pair it with some of the other options on the menu, and they do have vegan sides here on the menu, quite a few of them actually. Like maybe if you served it like the Yuca Mojo or something like that, definitely I think it'll make a much better side than the fingerling potatoes. And you can still order those, add separate sides. It just gets served with these. Which I think is a shame, really, because it really should come with some of their standard sides. I'm going to give the entire steak a 4.25 out of 5 claws. I think of all places for it to land at, Amatista was definitely a good choice. I'm just curious to see where it ends up next. Here we have the jumbo shrimp pasta. I feel that anytime I order seafood as an appetizer, I'm kind of putting the writing on the wall that I'm going to end up eating just seafood for that entire dinner experience. I didn't plan to get the jumbo shrimp, to tell the truth. I ordered my app and I had no idea what I was going to get for an entree. But this is one of the other new items on the menu since the last time we came here. You have this nice jumbo shrimp, again served with tails on. I promise, no soapbox or anything about tails on shrimp this time. You have the nice noodles, the queso fresco, some peppers in there, and these nice thin noodles. So it's also got a coconut-based cream in here, and then a corn sauce, along with the queso fresco cheese you see dotted around here. We'll give it a little twirl with the tail on. Take a bite. See, that is the one reason I hate tail on shrimp, because tail on shrimp I can tolerate in certain ways. If you have like a popcorn shrimp or like a fried shrimp, something like that, or even just like grilled blackened, I can pick it by the tail, eat it, put the tail down. In this case, I'm literally either sticking my hand in my mouth to take the tail off, or eating it, which I suppose is an option for some people, or I'm sticking my hand in my pasta to fish out this tail. It's annoying. I know I promised I wouldn't go on a rant, but I'm annoyed, and here I am again, ranting about tails on shrimp. Chefs, please stop putting tails on shrimp. Pasta's fine. The coconut cream is actually stronger than I was expecting. You do get a taste of coconut, not like straight coconut cream, but it's less pasta, like Italian pasta creamy, and more definitely Caribbean flavors. So you get that taste of the coconut with the peppers, and the cheese feels very Caribbean. The peppers help sell that. The shrimp is seasoned and cooked beautifully, and the sauce all together in, it tastes like Caribbean pasta, which is exactly what you expect, including that very, very smoky aftertaste in my mouth. That is not a complaint. It is very good pasta. I am usually pasta adverse. I will eat pasta, but I'm not like the #1 choice in pasta entertainment. Foodie infotainment, yes. Pasta entertainment, but I'm still going to go ahead and give this a solid 4 out of 5 points.
Cowboy is another mocktail that really piqued my interest, and I knew it was served with a cinnamon stick, but I didn't realize that they set the cinnamon stick on fire, so that was really cool. And I'm more excited for this. It almost looks like a drink I've had before at Strongwater, so I'm interested to see if it tastes similar. It's a little on the tart side, but not too bad. I really like it. It's nice and smooth. I would say it's more of like a 4 out of 10 on the heat scale. It's really, really nice. I'm into it. I'm going to give it a 4 out of 5 mocktails. It's very good.
No, this is fancy. I know that a lot of you grew up in fields in the middle of nowhere, drinking Natty Light. Don't worry, I did too. But occasionally you like to elevate your drinking game. And it's not just the mixer and the alcohol. Sometimes it's about the aromatics. Because we like a little bit of extra flair with our beverages. If we're gonna get a cocktail, I want it to allure me. I want it to take me away. We've had some days, and we all deserve some drinks. Ooh. It's got like this nice balance of both sweet and tart without being like a lemonade. It's probably for like a 4 out of 10 on the sweetness scale for me, but then it's just enough tart to cut it, and it just be a nice sippable cocktail. The cinnamon isn't overpowering, it's more aroma, and then just the smoothness of the drink, which is excellent. If you handed me this and told me there was alcohol in it, I would have no reason to question your judgment. Or I would question mine, but I haven't ordered it myself. I give this a 4.5 out of 5 points.
Bear and his old fashions. This one has not a big cube, but ice cubes, so I guess it already gets minus points for that. It is Makers, so slow sipper. Is it like orgeat? Too much of that. Way too much of that. It's a little too orangey, not enough Makers. The ratio is off. It's just too syrupy and not liquory enough. And then with like the multiple ice cubes, it's gonna water it down. It's not an ideal old fashioned. But maybe I am now old fashioned spoiled since Bear orders an old fashioned everywhere and I know what a real one is supposed to taste like. If you're new to an old fashioned, this is perfectly fine. If you are an expert, you're probably gonna feel a little insulted. I would give it a 2.5 out of 5 old fashions.
Something about my inner islander bullied me into ordering this drink. If you hadn't noticed, don't know anything about Amatista. The Amatista Cookhouse is very much a Caribbean-themed restaurant. Very much Caribbean flavors, and that extends very much into their drink menu. So when I see a Maker's Mark Old Fashioned with banana, if I gotta climb a tree, I want to try it. Not always a good choice, and sometimes you fall out of a tree, but I wanted to try it. So, 2 kinds of bitters, the orange and then a banana syrup with Makers. I had experimented a couple times trying to make an old fashioned at home, and I suck at it. So I guess until I get better, I'll just be drinking these out in public and letting somebody else poison me. That is, that was rough. It's like, if you took like, you know when you like, you get to the point where like your bananas are all mushy and the outside's turning black, and you're like, you know, I could probably still eat that because I'm hungry and there's nothing else snacking around the house. If I were to like mash it up, puree it, and add alcohol to it, and then way too much bitters and syrup, that's what it would taste like. And I committed my mistake. I'm going to drink this, but I do not love it, and I'm probably going to hate myself for it later. I would give it 2.25 out of 5 falls. We went to the Cookhouse.
We had a great time.
Yes.
They do have a new, I think it's new, vegan guava cheesecake that we were just way too full to get. So maybe next time.
Vegan cheesecake at that. So, yeah. We're still saying that this is the best restaurant to come to table service as a vegan or even a mixed diet party at Universal Studios. This is still our highest rated restaurant as far as restaurants we come to.
Yes.
And we can think of no better place to get a vegan steak. First, yes.
And like if Bear and I don't know what to eat, even if we're not filming a food review, we come to Amatista.
Amatista's on the list, like one in the top 3 frequently. And more people don't come here. It's kind of a shame. I mean, it's good for us because we don't have to need a reservation and just walk up. But it's bad for you because
you're missing out.
You're eating like NBC Grill when you could be eating
like
Cookhouse
NBC Grill.
I mean, I do certain times. It's not in the top 3 though.
True.
But I want to know what you guys think. Where do you rank Amatista in your Hall of Universal Food, or have you even heard of it?
You should go.
Yes, you should go. Let us know why or why not in the comments below. If there's anything else you can just do, there'll always be a place to find us. Hit that notification bell. You want to see other videos like this, and
we have new videos 5 days a week: Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Saturday.
We will see you soon.
Be sure to subscribe and like this video. And if you don't comment, Bear might yeet himself into the kitchen and then become a mojo chicken.
She's gonna cook me, y'all. You heard the girl.
I'm vegan.